Sunday around 5 p.m., the family inside the silver pickup truck then struck by the stolen Hyundai Sonata.
Stolen Hyundai Sonata T-bones a pickup truck with a family with a beautiful little 6-month-old baby inside. Kills him.
According to police, the truck then head on into the Sunday around 5 p.m., the family inside the silver pickup truck then struck by the stolen Hyundai Sonata. According to police, the truck then head on into this large tree at Costner in Washington.
Truly the biggest nightmare.
The car seat still visible in the wreckage, neighbors rushing to the scene to render aid. Christian Uvilla, his mother, and 2 older sisters all rushed to the hospital in serious to critical condition.
I think a lot of
This is what the Kia boys do. They run from the police and they kill people. Babies.
he suffered from a fractured skull, which caused his brain to swell and bleed, eventually causing him to go into a coma and then later passing away.
The offending vehicle crashed into a light pole, police later arresting a 14 and 17-year-old, both charged with misdemeanors, criminal trespass to a vehicle. The family now in deep pain, working to make funeral.
They arrest a 14 and 17-year-old on that crashed and killed this little baby right here on misdemeanor charges for trespassing into a vehicle. They have to start charging these people with serious crimes. If you steal a car, it has to be like 10 years. It has to be.
Arrangements for a kid whose smile and infectious laugh will forever be missed.
Your however minutes long joyride ruined our life completely.
Now, Kristen's mother suffered a fractured pelvis and internal bleeding.
So the grandma is driving her pickup truck. She gets T-boned by a stolen Hyundai. Her grandson in the back is dead. She has a fractured pelvis and a busted spleen and all this stuff. And these kids go away with misdemeanors. That is so not right.
Was released from the hospital today. One of his sisters, 15 years old, suffered a concussion and also some bleeding on her brain.
Bleeding on her brain. A 15-year-old girl who just had her little nephew murdered in the back. Her mom's got her pelvis busted and her spleen bleeding out. And she's over here with her brain bleeding. And these kids go home with misdemeanors. Explain that to me.
Another sister, 7 years old, suffered some bruises as a result.
They say a woman who was trying to track down her stolen Hyundai was shot and killed Monday night by a 13-year-old. The chief's new warning about Hyundai and Kia cars.
So a 19-year-old girl gets her Hyundai Sonata stolen. She calls the police and says, "Hey, somebody just stole my car." And the police go, "Yeah, and?" Nobody cares. We don't come out to that. We know your car's been stolen. Thanks for letting us know. Have a good day. And she goes, No, you don't understand. I know where my car's at. And they go, No, you don't understand. We don't care. We don't give a shit. And so the girl says, all right, fine. I'm going to go chase this car myself. So she goes and chases down her own car. And a 13-year-old hops out of her car and shoots her in the fucking chest and kills her. And mind you, this woman called the police like 5, 6 to 10 times. The police actually showed up to her and said, "Ma'am, stop groveling. We don't care that your car was stolen. Stop calling." She continues to chase her own car and gets murdered by a 13-year-old in her own car.
It was a frustrating hunt for a stolen Hyundai that ended in tragedy. Tonight, lapel video and 911 calls chronicle how a 23-year-old woman spent the last hours of her life just trying to get her car back from the group of teenagers who stole it, before police say one of those teens shot and killed her. News 13's Chandler Farnsworth has this story.
Albuquerque Police, Operator 6765, how can I help you?
A flurry of 911 calls and a meeting with an officer in a business parking lot the evening of July 31st.
My name is Sydney me, Wilson. I'm not necessarily sure how to go about this. My mom just told me to call you guys.
Wilson reports her white Hyundai missing from her apartment complex near Osuna and San Mateo.
I'm not showing it's been reported towed.
Oh no, okay. Then I guess my car's been stolen.
Wilson later pulls up the GPS tracker on her phone and sees the car is in the Coors and Central area. She calls 911 again.
My car was just stolen from me, and I'm tracking it on my GPS, and I can see like where they are live right now.
Dispatch tells her officers can head to the GPS location only if the car remains stationary and advises her to call back in that case. Wilson does call back, this time saying she has spotted her stolen Hyundai.
I currently see them outside some apartments. Just a little bit ago, we saw them driving up Central, and they had kids hanging out the back windows.
She tells the dispatchers she just wants her car back.
It's taking everything in me to not get my car right now.
I don't want you to, because that could end up getting you hurt, okay?
And knowing exactly where it is just adding to the frustration.
I've seen my car about 4 times today, and every time I call the police, I just watch it drive away.
I'm really, really so sorry. It's hard, especially like during these hours, because we are so busy.
Dispatch assures her they're keeping the call open, and if she gets any more GPS updates, to give them a call. Wilson meets up with an APD officer in a parking lot.
So who's got it on GPS?
I do. This is where we saw them, and then when they left here, that's where we were, and then they took off crazy fast. They almost hit like 3 people, and then we lost where they went.
Not long after, Wilson found her car in the Smith's parking lot at Coors and Central. That's where police say a group of teens got out, and one of them, 13-year-old Marcos Varela, pulled out a gun and opened fire.
It's heart-wrenching, and to die the way this didn't have to happen, it makes it even worse.
Today, Columbus police arrested the man accused of killing a 4-year-old while driving a stolen vehicle Saturday night. Police say he drove off the road and hit the child who was playing with their mother. Tyrell Shute, the man shown on your screen, is being...
This one is so fucked up. So this guy, he steals a Hyundai or Kia. He's popping wheelies. He's riding around with his white girlfriend. And he is running from the police and plows over a 4-year-old kid and just keeps going. Kills the 4-year-old. Just keeps going.
Around 9 o'clock on Saturday night, Columbus police say they attempted to pull over a reportedly stolen Kia. According to the
stolen Kia, ran over a 4-year-old kid.
Chopper, it's a green Kia Soul. Entered as a 45 or in the area looking for it.
The dashcam footage shows officers first make contact with the green Kia as it stopped at a red light before following toward Canopy Place. That's when officers flip on the lights and attempt to make a stop. Kids can be seen playing just off to the left in the neighborhood.
All right, it's taken off and went through. It's going to go out towards northbound on Mount Calvary. And I think they just crashed up there.
By the time the officer catches up, the driver ran off.
Hey, he's long gone. What is it?
Footage out here saying they hit a child.
But a passenger in the car stayed at the scene.
The female's getting out. Hands! Hands! Turn around! Turn around! Turn around!
She seems very frantic, and then the officers find out why.
Hey, relax, okay? He hit the kid? Hold her!
Senseless act of violence. The 3 shooters who opened fire on a crowded bus stop just over 24 hours ago are still at large today. 8 teenagers were hurt. 1 remains in critical condition. And now police are urging the public.
3 shooters hop out of a fucking car and they shoot up a bus right here, a SEPTA bus. But it was all high schoolers, so I don't know if these high schoolers ride the SEPTA bus to fucking school wherever they're at in Philadelphia. I don't know how it works.
They found the car that police think the suspects drove to open fire on that crowded corner of school children yesterday, shooting 8 of those children. Of all the rest ran.
Look at that. So 8 children were shot at a bus stop, and they find a stolen Hyundai Sonata with fucking, empty shell casings and everything else. The steering column ripped out. They finally tell the story.
Conduct for cover and for their lives. So there it is. They did impound it. It is a stolen blue Hyundai Sonata. It was in that alley on Fern Street, crowded corner of. They found the car that police think the suspects drove to open fire on that crowded corner of school children yesterday, shooting 8 of those children. Of all the rest ran.
Look at that. So 8 children were shot at a bus stop, and they find a stolen Hyundai Sonata with fucking, empty shell casings and everything else, the steering column ripped out. They finally tell the story.
Conduct for cover and for their lives. So there it is. They did impound it. It is a stolen blue Hyundai Sonata.
So here we have a story about an army of stolen Hyundais and Kias rolling up on a gas station. We're talking like 4 to 5 stolen Hyundais and Kias pulling up on a gas station, beating someone down, and then like 5 to 7 of them, maybe 10 of them, opening fire.
Just a glimpse of the teen crime wave sweeping Northeast Ohio. Disgusted, appalled, sickening, all words used at this afternoon's news conference.
Stolen Hyundai, stolen Kia, stolen Hyundai or Kia.
Some heavily armed. All, police say, arrived in 3 stolen cars. That victim able to get away. Investigators say he's expected to be okay. But watch what happens next. As cameras roll, a number of the teens begin shooting down St. Clair. Their target unknown.
Developments out of Monterey County, some developments out of the King City mass shooting investigation. The car used by the gunman, according to police, has been found. Action News 8 reporter Felix Cortez has more.
So here's a story about a stolen Kia, I imagine. They shot up a birthday party and they killed like 7 kids. They killed a couple kids, but shot like 7 children. This is what the Kia boys do with these cars. So when the police see a stolen Kia or Hyundai or any car with a taped up back window or fake broken back, it's time to chase. When you talk about endangering the public, letting these people go, period, is endangering the public. And here's another example of why.
Tuesday, investigators announced they have recovered this car, a stolen Kia that was used by 3 gunmen who drove up to a birthday party Sunday evening in King City and opened fire, killing 4 and injuring 7. The car was found in this
killing 4 and injuring 7. And they don't know who did it. It's a stolen car. So here's a different story about a drive-by shooting. It looks like, I don't know, downtown somewhere. And they shot like, who knows how many people. I don't know.
Up with a brazen broad daylight shooting. 4 people, including 3 children, were rushed to the hospital.
Group of young boys walking down McMicken in broad daylight.
A barrage of gunfire followed by. Let's rewind a few seconds and again focus our attention on the top left of the video. There's a car stopped on Moore Street as the gunmen fire away in what appears to be several directions. That driver, who we later learned was a woman with 3 kids in her car, then takes a left on McMicken. Then she turns right on Lang Street. She wasn't hit, neither were her 3 kids, but a bullet pierced her car and shattered her driver's side window.
So people just riding around home from the grocery store in this neighborhood, in any neighborhood, get caught up in a barrage of gunfire. She's got 3 of her children in the car, and she's pregnant, and the windows are shattered from gunfire. There are bullets piercing the hood of her car. This is why the key, anyone in a stolen car needs to be pursued to the fullest. They need to have drones and everything else. You might as well send out the military at this point.
The mom told us she and her family are traumatized.
And 4 people who were walking in the area were shot: a 10-year-old, a 14-year-old, a 15-year-old, and a man in his 20s.